Okay, so welcome everyone. We are already running a little bit behind schedule, so I'm going to really get straight into things tonight. Welcome to Escape the Rat Race. Can I just see, first and foremost, who is here for the first time tonight at first Escape the Rat Race meetup? Okay, great. Yeah, round of applause, well done. And in a moment, I'm just going to really just find out really what has brought everyone here tonight, because we're at the start of another year. Of course, it's always the time when we reflect. We start thinking, did we achieve everything we wanted to last year? And then we think about what our goals and plans are for the year ahead. But that time goes so quickly, as we know. Before we know it, Easter, summer, and then we'll be looking back at 2018 and saying, I haven't done it again. I'm still in the office. I'm still doing the same stuff I was doing 12 months ago. So the thing about Escape the Rat Race and why I've set Escape the Rat Race up, 2015. So it's now moving into our 4th year of these meetup events. And it's because I was in that position and I had had enough of working the 9-to-5 lifestyle and I wanted to change. Okay, so I'm sure a little bit more about that story as we get going through tonight. Oops. I've got a very, very lively clicker tonight, I've realised as well. So let me go back to this one. Okay, why are you here today? As I've just said. So I'm just going to quickly whiz round, okay, and I want to just know who's in the room, and it's really good for everyone else to hear who's in the room, what people are doing, and start connecting, start seeing who's here, and start speaking to each other, okay? So quickly, I'm going to ask you what your name is, what stage of the journey you're at, and by that I mean, are you literally complete beginner, no real ideas what it is you want to do in terms of building wealth, passive income streams, or maybe you've already started a business, maybe you're already generating a few £100s a month, maybe from selling products online, or you're renting out a property. So you've already got some income besides your job income coming through. And then what brings you here today? Okay, so primary reason, what really made you decide to take the time out tonight and come and spend that with us? So I'm going to begin with you, Graham.
Okay, my name's Graham Price. Hi everyone. My business is fairly mature and it's a sizable business. So why the hell am I here? Because I want to know what Christian, because I've heard great things about Christian. Secondly, I want to know what he knows that I don't know.
Thank you, Graham.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Ole. It's like Ole in Spanish, although I'm Danish originally. I'm probably like 67% and a half towards Escape the Rat Race, something like that, I think.
What brings you here specifically?
What brings me here is because there's always good stuff to pick up at the Escape the Rat Race, and that's what I want to do, so it just makes sense.
Okay.
Thanks. Can I just ask one thing? It would be good if you let us know if this is your first time.
It's not my first time.
Okay, yeah.
It is my first time.
Yeah, great. Super.
Hi there. My name is Sophia, and sorry if I tripped on. My name is Sophia, and it's the first meeting here.
Okay. Yeah.
I've actually left my job, but the problem is it was going way up here. I gained my salary, and then it went kind of like it's going downwards.
Well,
now.
since you left?
Since I've left. So I'm thinking I'm doing something wrong, or what am I doing?
Yeah.
I'm in a stage where should I go back to my job? Should I? I need to do something about it right now.
Yeah.
And I've got 2 little ones, so I can't really go full time right now anyway.
Excellent. Great. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, we'll go into a little bit of detail. This really is a journey. Everyone here is going to be at a different stage. Okay. Let me just say before we go on any further. There's no right or wrong stage. There's nothing bad. We're still working. Escape the Rat Race is not about saying, if you've got a job, you're a loser. Absolutely not. Entrepreneurship is not for everyone. But I'm guessing that for most of you in the room tonight, there's something inside you that's telling you, hey, I don't want to be sat behind a desk working for someone else for the rest of my life. I don't want to keep getting the same amount of money every year for the next 10, 15, 20 years. I want to have more control. I want to have more freedom. Okay, I want to do the things that I love. I've had some close friends. I still consider myself reasonably young, but I've had some close friends recently, pass away, and that just hammers home the point that every day is so important. You shouldn't be sat waking up in the mornings, getting on a train, sat in a traffic jam, hating life, cursing, spending 40 hours a week in an office with people you don't like. And so that was the reason why I said, hey, I don't want to do this anymore. Maybe that's your reason, maybe it's not, okay? But I just want to say there's no right or wrong. Don't feel like you're being judged because some people are further along than others. Everyone had to start at the beginning. Everyone did start at the beginning, okay? And the thing about Escape the Rat Race is we're a community, and those people who are further along are people who can help you, okay? Think of it as a bridge. I'm going to show you a couple of examples later, but if you think about the bridge, okay, we all are at one stage, which is where we are today, and we all want to get to somewhere else. There's all a goal in our heads, and it's different for all of us. We've all got different dreams. Some people it's material things, others it's just more time with families, others it's traveling, remote lifestyle. Whatever it is for you is a destination that you want to get to. So we all have to take some steps to get to that point, and some people here will be further along than others. Those that are further along, you can reach out, you can learn from them, you can study, you can ask them questions, but then you'll start to understand, you'll have experiences, you'll get further along. And then those people behind you who are just discovering books like Think and Grow Rich and Rich Dad Poor Dad, they're the people that you can help with your experiences, okay? So that's the great thing about Escape the Rat Race community that we've built over the last 3 years. Very supportive, non-judgmental, safe environment. So in this room tonight, I know we're recording it, but you know, this is not going to go like super public. So feel that you are supported tonight in whatever it is you want to do. So sorry, I just jumped in just to make you all feel more comfortable, hopefully, with that. So please introduce yourself.
Hi everyone, I'm Grace.
Stand up.
Oh, you want to stand up? I'm Grace. I'm here today to see, I guess, what it's all about, and I'm kind of at that stage where thinking of starting my own business, but sort of at the idea stage and kind of figuring it all out to hopefully leave full-time work at some stage in the near future.
Excellent, welcome. Thank you, Grace.
Hello everyone, my name is Holly and it's my first time here today. I'm just here with my friend Grace and it's the beginning of my journey just to increase my knowledge.
Welcome. Hey Adam.
Hey, my name's Adam. So I left my corporate job a year ago and started my property management development business. So I'm just here to network, help people and carry on. Just continue to network and see where it goes. Brilliant,
thank you. I'm gonna because people will find out more about you guys. So Henry, we'll jump to you.
Hi, I'm Henry. This isn't my first. What's funny?
No. Go for Henry. Henry.
You too.
What stage are you
Not
at?
my first time here. I'm at a stage where I've got my own business, but I keep coming here because I'd like to find out how I can make my money work for me and generate residual income while I sleep. I love to sleep. So.
Who wants the residual income whilst they sleep? Yeah, thought that might be. Elena, please share with us.
Hi everyone, my name is Elena. I still work full-time in finance and I also run property management business. So I would say I'm probably 50% escaping road race on that track.
Yeah.
So I met Christian last year and yeah, just good to come here and meet like-minded people.
Yeah, great. And anyone with an orange sticker is part of the team. Okay, so if you need anything tonight, if you have any questions, anyone with an orange sticker can certainly help you. So, and also I'll be asking for anyone else at the end of the evening who'd be interested in joining the team and helping come a little bit early, staying a little bit late for future events, and we'll get together and we'll help grow and build these events. So Rohit, you're going to find out a bit more about Rohit very shortly. So we'll move to Steve.
Thank you.
Team member.
Hi there. I'm Steve. I'm also still in the rat race, so I'm still working full time in a banking job. I've got my own online business and a couple of other side businesses, starting a property business as well. And I've been coming to the meetings for over a year now, helping Chris out, and Chris helps everyone else.
Yeah, great. Cool. We're going to have to really whiz through these guys. So quickly on to Anthony.
My name's Anthony. I'm a freelance quantity surveyor. My journey here is I'm looking to build a brand in terms of construction company and also set up a rent-to-rent property business.
Great. Lots of property interest here tonight. Dio.
Oh, hello.
Welcome. How are you doing? Good. Would like to tell everyone?
Yeah, my name is Dio. It's not my first time anyway, but I'm still into full-time employment. I work as a contractor, as a business analyst, IT.
Yep.
And I've got like a side business which I'm doing just by the side. But I'm just here mainly today just to network and just to kind of build more relationships.
Great, great. Excellent. Thank you. Sylvia.
Hi, my name is Sylvia. It's my first time here. I'm actually a property manager and I also work for a startup company in the property industry as well.
Right.
So I'm kind of in the middle of the journey, so I'm trying to escape the rat race as well. And I got here by recommendation from my friends.
Yeah. Wow, imagine a joint venture we could do with all the property people here today. Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah. We've got the shard over there, we could like take a floor or something. So please.
Hi everyone, my name's Jess. I'm a newbie. I am in the product development stage. In about 3 days' time I'll be getting my first 3D print of my product that I've been working on, which is super exciting. The reason that I'm here tonight is because I don't know any entrepreneurs. I've got loads of really successful friends that work across a variety of different businesses, but I don't really know anybody that knows what it's like to build a product and build a brand from absolute scratch. So if anybody else is on a journey like that, please connect with me, because I'd love to kind of share this experience with someone so that we have a kind of mentor thing going on. I also do a lot of NLP and coaching as well, so I'd be interested to connect with anyone on that level.
Boy, you've lucked out tonight, haven't you? Who's entrepreneurs in the room? Oh, yes, obviously everyone's had. The key is, you know, you've got to stop thinking like an employee. Employee has a very set way. Things are done in a set way. You can't really move outside the boundaries. The rules are there. An entrepreneur has to really change the way, and entrepreneurs really do stretch the boundaries. So the shift, the journey of escaping the rat race is more about the mindset than the strategy. In fact, you know, the mindset is really where it begins. So thank you for that. Pam.
Hi, my name's Pam. I need mindset, that's definitely what I need. I've been helping myself along, but I definitely want to leave my job within, well, I suppose within the next 12 months or so.
What stage would you say you're at the beginning?
Middle? I'm at the beginning.
Okay.
I'm just doing affiliate marketing, really at the beginning stages. I'm also interested in property. I did try that a little while before. I'm looking to perhaps get back into that.
Yeah.
Just see how it goes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, just looking to learn and strengthen my skills and all the rest of it.
Fantastic, thank you, Pam. Shakes.
Hi everyone, my name's Shakes. I'm a music artist and I'm at the end of the beginning, my stage. And Chris is my mentor, that's why I'm here.
Thanks, Shakes.
Hi, I'm Linda. I work as an HR consultant. Wanted to make that jump from being a consultant to actually owning my own business. Shakes brought me here. I've known Shakes for many, many years. And so I'm looking to get some experience from everyone here.
Good, good. Well, make sure you all network after we finish, okay? So if there's anyone you like the sound of, you think, hey, there could be an opportunity, you know, keep an eye and make sure you connect afterwards. Samantha, hello.
Hi everyone, I'm Samantha. I thought I knew what I wanted to do, but actually it's been mind-blowing, so it's all a complete change for me. So I'm going to start all over again, and what brings me here today, I'm just sick and tired of being sick and tired of finding excuses. So it's about being honest with myself and getting to know more about me, and actually just deciding what I want to do and not having to work for other people.
Excellent. Who says no more excuses this year? Yes, no more. That's it. All right, Leo.
Hello everyone, my name's Leo. First time here today, currently working full-time as a HR business partner. Reason that I'm here is that basically just want to regain control of my life and be in charge of my own decisions, and you know, considering what sort of side hustles I can get into and hopefully make them full-time eventually.
Excellent, brilliant. I'm sure you can. Thank you, Francis.
Hi, my name's Francis. I feel like the spotlight's on
Go for it.
So I'm at the start of my journey. I have a property sourcing and investing business, and I'm here today to meet like-minded individuals.
Great, yeah, that's how I started off sourcing. So, great, Paddy.
Hi everyone, my name is Paddy. So I do work full-time in banking, but I've got a side venture as well, which I'm still working on. So I'd say I'm probably 30-40% of the way there. And I think what brings me here is just to connect with other entrepreneurs and other like-minded people. So I think it's very important to connect with people with the same mindset.
Now, Paddy, you joined the first mentoring group.
I did.
The business mentor a couple of years ago now, wasn't it? So just for everyone in the room, those maybe a bit, you know, staying at the start of the journey, Yeah, it's Escape the Rat Race for 12 months, but it might take longer, mightn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to give up. So I mean, I love what I'm doing on the side, and yeah.
The key, I think the key is that, you know, it's possible to escape the rat race within 12 months. It's possible, but it's probably unlikely, you know, realistically. And this is all about being real tonight. You'll see there's no bullshit, you know, like some events you may go to that are really hypey. We don't do that here, you know, we talk honesty, and you'll see from everyone that I invite, all the mentors, you know, they're the real deal, they're out there, they're doing it, they've got experience. And Paddy is someone I've worked with a couple of years. Paddy has been focused, Paddy's been working, but alongside a full-time job. But your business is now, you know, it's taking shape. You know clearly what you want to do, and it might, you know, it might take 2 or 3 years. But hey, if you can escape the rat race successfully and be replacing your income either equally or more after 2 or 3 years, who would take that? Yeah, knowing that you've got the rest of your life to keep then honing your skills, building relationships, getting better and better and better for the next 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years. Yeah, when it comes to retirement, you don't have to rely on hopefully someone giving you a pension because you've got assets. We're going to talk about the 3 core asset classes tonight. Okay, that's really the 3 pillars of Escape the Rat Race. So thank you, Paddy.
Thanks.
Perrin, out of the darkness.
Lean a bit.
Yeah, so what's Perrin, yeah, and stage of the journey you're at, Perrin?
I've been trying to get things going for last year, like a bit of software, bit of investing, trading.
A few plates.
Trying to get by.
Yeah, spinning. Good, good. Okay, what brings you here today?
Oh, just to meet everyone and pick up a few tips.
Sure. And you're part of the Property Academy as well?
That's right.
Yeah, great stuff. Oh, good to have you here. Zahir in the corner is one of our mentors. Zahir, just give everyone a wave, but you'll be hearing more from Zahir in a very short while. So I'll pull you up to the front in a moment, Zahir. Batch.
Hi.
Mark, sorry. I know, we're good old friends.
My name's Mark, my friends call me Batch, feel free. Whatever you choose. I met Chris about 10 years ago, working in digital marketing. Chris was actually a client of mine when he headed up a record label. I'm still in digital marketing now, but more on the commercial side of things, working on things like on-site technology, basket abandonment, and also display. The reason I'm here today is, I've been here once before. The whole point of me being here today is I just want to get to that next stage where I can be financially independent.
Excellent, thank you very much. Gareth, hi, good evening.
I'm Gareth, second time I've been here. I'm going to quit my job this year and I want to build a network of environmental entrepreneurs. So it's very ambitious and I need to get moving very quickly, so I need some heavyweight mentors to help me out to make that happen.
Fantastic, great stuff, thank you. Hey Steph.
Hi everyone, I'm Steph. I'm an artist and maker, so slightly different from the usual. I've been with Chris, I've known Chris for a couple of years now, I think, and I was part of the mentoring program last year. Part of the journey, I'm actually looking hopefully in the spring to bring out at least proof of concept, some products that I've been making or trying to outsource and have made, trying to step away from the manufacturing and trying to market them as well. I've just come along today to again meet like-minded people and just rekindle, you know, these meetings, and I think it's really good just to remind ourselves why we're here and try and get try and get it back, you know, the feelings, good feelings.
Yeah, great Steph. Yeah, you know, and for those of you embarking on the entrepreneurial journey, you know, it is a roller coaster, and entrepreneurship is not for everyone. I'll be completely honest with you, it's not for everyone. And for everyone in the room, maybe that wants to be an entrepreneur, you know, I can guarantee, as Jim Rohn says, you know, the weeds will get some, you know, it'll just the hard work, the pain, the disappointment, the not seeing the results quick enough. It's tough, you know. But that's why we need to come together. It's why we do come together every month, because having a room full of like-minded people where you've had a really shit week, you know, and then you come here tonight and you say, oh, and someone else like, hey, me too, you know, or someone else said, hey, it was really shit, but then I just had this breakthrough moment, and then you get inspired, and then tomorrow you're a different mindset, and then you have a breakthrough yourself. You know, we hear it all the time, so it's so important why we come together here and have these meetups every month. Thanks, Steph. Hey Lee.
Hi.
I didn't see you creeping.
Yeah, Lee Brooks. I'm from Croydon. I started. I had businesses. I had about 4 laundrettes in South London. Sold up in 2014. I want to get into property. At the moment, I'm team leader in a utility warehouse. I'm trying to make 2.5K per month passive income.
Fantastic.
Yeah, met Chris last year. This is my second meeting.
Yeah, great. Thank you. Andrew.
Good evening, everyone. My name is David. I'm kind of here, me and my business partner here, we developed, into property business. I retired in 2010, which was the rat race I escaped, and we have started a new business venture, which I hope, this year we'll see some fruits being produced from our labor that we put in. I will, so I let her do the talking, I just sit in the back.
Okay, over to
Thank you.
You're so not worthy, but never mind. Hello everybody, good evening. My name is Jacinth. I've been attending overarching Escape Rat Race meetings for about 9 months now. So it's been a really great year for me. It's been interesting, the networking, and I'm at very early stages of our property development company. Maybe 20%, if so much, of escaping the rat race. I work in the NHS, and I'm one of the rare people, I'm not going to be giving up my job. I'll probably go part-time and do the hours that suit me, because I actually enjoy my job. I think I add value, and I help people saving their lives. So I'm not going to give that up. I just won't work at the breakneck speed they would like me to work. And so it's about, Christian's quite right about that, being true to yourself. What do you want to do? And if you do enjoy some element of what you're doing, holding on that element, discard the rest, and fill it with something entrepreneurial which does give you satisfaction.
Yeah.
So we're very early stages, and I'm also a member of the property mentoring group, so the great Rohit is working with him. So I'm enjoying that very much at the moment.
Thank you, Justin. And it's a very good point. Thanks for making that point. Escaping the rat race, we kind of automatically think, okay, it means like quitting the job, But for some people, maybe it doesn't mean quitting the job, and that's absolutely fine. Maybe it means generating an extra £1,000, £2,000, £5,000 a month so that you can do additional things. You can invest, you can maybe, buy more items, whatever it is for you, maybe you don't actually want to give up your job. Who here, and it's absolutely fine, don't feel like it's the right or wrong thing to say, who actually enjoys their job? Who enjoys it? And that's totally fine. So did I for a long, long time. And then one day I didn't. So anyway, flying through these, and hopefully, you were listening there and you were able to hear everyone. We haven't missed anyone. There's no one asleep on the sofa at the back. No? Good. Okay. All right. So there's 2 sides to this, and I'll flick through this one, which is what you're getting away from, what you don't like. And there's a lot of people out there who hate their boss, don't like the commute, don't like the job, don't like the people you work with, feel uninspired by the work you're doing. And that's very much a stick mentality, It's like, you're being motivated by pain, things that you don't like. And that's really the position I was in. I'd had enough of my job, my boss was driving me crazy, and I just wanted to get out, So I just wanted to break free. The other side of it, which is good that we heard from a lot of people here, I'd say majority, is the other side. It's what is it that you want to achieve? And that is really, really important. And on your journey, for those of you that are already a few steps along that bridge, maybe, you're...
There's another one there.
Huh? What's going on?
You went one slide.
Is this clicker going bonkers? Yeah. Okay, I'm just not going to touch that. And that's now turned red anyway, it just died itself. Okay, so yeah, the freedom. So I want everyone to be really clear about this, okay? Think about for a second, what is it that actually is the primary driver right now? Are you thinking about all the things that you don't like? Yeah, I hate this, I need to get out, I don't have enough money, can't do this. Or are you driven every morning by, I've got a real passion, a real desire to build a business, to help people, to change the world, to, travel, to live remotely. So think about it. That's a really important distinction, because often getting out of the rat race, it will be a bad time. It'll be like, I can't take enough. Yeah, but then you realise, I think you said, Sophia, you know, quit the job and then suddenly go,
My money goes down.
shit, yeah, like, you know, you're the boss of you and no one really properly prepares you. I totally remember the first few months of when you quit your job and suddenly you don't have a boss kicking your ass every day. You don't have someone saying, you know, where are you? You don't have the pressure of just having to work and get stuff done. You're the boss of you. You have to decide what's important that day. You have to go out and sell. You have to wear all the different hats. And that is difficult. That is really hard, which is why the process I've put together at Escape the Rat Race is about you getting educated whilst you've still got the job. So start generating some income, whether it's property, whether it's a business idea, because there probably will be a period of time where you'll test things out. You know, you'll think that you maybe want to do one strategy, you'll test it out, you'll do it, maybe it works, great, maybe it doesn't, but it's not the end of the world. You know, you haven't just quit your job and then suddenly, you know, you're putting yourself under loads of pressure because you've got bills to pay, you know, husband or wife screaming at you. So important point there. Quickly, a lot of you at the early part of the journey might be standing here thinking, okay, how can I get out of my job, you know? And the other side is, I want more money, I want to build a business, you know, I want more success. But there's just this massive gap. You're not quite sure, how do I get there? So I think this picture illustrates, and we talked about the carrot and stick and which one is motivating you. Very quickly, I'll give you a bit of my backstory. So I used to work in the music industry. I quit at the end of 2014, and I knew the value of having a network around me, and for 16 years I had a very successful career in the music industry, and I kind of had all my contacts in that area, and I knew that I was going to move out, and my plan was to go into property that first year, and I thought I need to build a new network, people that are in the property world. I've always been a big fan of personal development, so I set up I found the group meetup.com website, which is where I set up Escape the Rat Race within 12 months. And I remember it was 2014, it was a November, Sunday evening, cold, wet. I was in a coffee shop and I had about a month left before I was leaving my job. And I was searching for like Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I'm sure most of you, you've read the book. And I wasn't really finding much. And I thought, you know what, I'm just gonna set a group up. And I just Escape the Rat Race just came from my head, probably because I was thinking about Kiyosaki. And that's it. Registered the group, and when you set a meetup group, you have to pick a date for the first event. And so I thought, I don't know, 14th of January, 2 weeks, you know, after my new life as a business owner. And I thought, if 4 or 5 people come along to that event, that would be great. We can talk about Rich Dad Poor Dad and just like share some ideas. And 40 people turned up to that first meetup that night, and Rohit was the very first person there that night, and it was a real good night, wasn't it? Yeah. It was cool, and I just had a little area at the hotel, and suddenly more and more people. I was like, damn, we need to get a room, and so we quickly negotiated, and it all turned out fine. And I realised after that night, I have to do it again. You know, we've got so many good people that turned up. We had such a good conversation. Everyone was hungry for ideas. And I thought, well, we've got to do it again next month. So I said, all right, we'll do one next month. And then another 40 people came. And I've done a meetup every month, pretty much every month since then. And this is now 4 years ago. So tonight is Escape the Rat Race 31. Vanish challenged me actually early on. He said, pick a number. How many meetups are you going to do? I said, all right, I'll do 50. And at the time I was like, 50? Like, absolutely no way. That seems so far away. And tonight we're at 31, okay? So I'm on my journey, I'm committed to my journey, but I'm also committed to everyone here. I'm committed to your journey as well. So that's why I really want to get to know all of you and see if I can help you in any way. And I will be inviting you all at the end as well to fill out some forms, put your phone number down, and I'll have a follow-up call with all of you, okay? So we'll schedule some time over the next few days, and we'll have a one-to-one. You can tell me what it is that, if you need to speak to anyone in particular, if you want to learn about something, and I'll do whatever I can to help you out, okay? So I set up Escape the Rat Race, and here we are, and kind of 3-4 years into it now. I've also now am the host of Escape the Rat Race Radio podcast, which I launched a year ago. Has anyone listened to Escape the Rat Race Radio. Good stuff. So yeah, this is a really guilty pleasure of mine where I can go out and handpick entrepreneurs, marketing people, personal development coaches, and invite them onto the show where I ask them the questions that hopefully will pull out those nuggets of wisdom which you can listen to. And I always try and ask the same questions so you can hear different perspective, you know, the same answers but from different people. And you'll see the same seeds of success running through all of their answers. This week, who knows who was the guest this week? Shout us out. We had the mighty Chris Akabusi, the Olympian, world champion, yeah, bundle of laughs he was. So yeah, managed to get to number 2 on the business chart behind Tim Ferriss, who wrote the 4-Hour Workweek. So if you haven't downloaded that, make sure that you look for the orange artwork, Escape the Rat Race Radio, or just put Escape the Rat Race into iTunes, into your podcast app, and you can download and have a listen to that. That's every week. So recapping, you know, 1998 is when I left college, and my passion at that time was music. I didn't want to sit in a classroom. I'd had enough of that kind of studying stuff, and I didn't want to go to university. There was no real subject that I thought I wanted to spend another 4 years doing. And whilst I know university's a lot of laughs, you know, I didn't want to get into 30 grand of debt, and I just really didn't want to sit in a classroom any longer. And at that time, at that age, when I was kind of like 17, I was clubbing pretty hardcore. From Friday to Sunday, you would find me somewhere in a dark, sweaty club probably. So yeah, you know, I bought some decks, and I called up all the record labels that I was buying music from, and got my foot in the door, got some work experience, ended up working for EMI Records for their dance music label, and yeah, had a career for 16 years working with some pretty good people. So so that was me. So the point being, you know, jobs are good, and I had a good job, you know, and I decided to quit. So there's different reasons for all of us, and for me it just got to a point where from the outside it looked like a dream job, and there was lots of benefits, lots of traveling, lots of parties, good time. But the day-to-day was still the same as any other job. I still had to be in the office by a certain time. I still had to do all the jobs. You know, I still really wasn't increasing my salary every year. And my boss was just starting to drive me crazy. So, you know, those were enough reasons for me to say, all right, I can change, and I will. Just wanted to put this image here. I like this image because I think it's a good analogy for kind of where a lot of people are when they're at the start of the journey. We've talked about the bridge. Now, some people will look at this bridge and go, no way I'm walking across that. Who thinks that looks a bit scary, and they'd be pretty, yeah, not too keen to walk across this like kind of rickety, scary rope bridge into destination unknown, okay? And this is a bit like entrepreneurship. So when you're in a safe job, you know, you've got that salary coming every month, you know, you kind of got your role, you feel comfortable, you've been doing it for ages. A lot of people get stuck in that, okay? But entrepreneurship is about pushing your comfort zone. It's about doing things that are uncomfortable, that you've never done before, and they seem scary until you do them. And then you think, what was I worried about? Who's had that experience? You know, something you've been worried about doing, you know, maybe public speaking for a lot of people. And then afterwards you're like, yeah, it was no big deal. So this is a little bit like entrepreneurship. You know, a lot of people would look at this and say, well, I'm not sure about that, okay? But they kind of would maybe slowly take a few steps, test it out, you know. Whereas some people look at this and say, right, I'm up for it, and they just leg it, and then, you know, they just smash through it. So if you are at this point, what I would say is that Escape the Rat Race really is about bringing people who have already walked across that bridge. Mentors, people you've heard from tonight who've already started building businesses, making some money, people that have already walked halfway or all the way to the other end. They know what's the other side. They can help pull you across. They can show you where to avoid the pitfalls. They can show you the fastest route, okay? When you get clear about what it is you want to do, and hopefully after I bring on the 3 mentors in a moment and they share a little bit about the 3 main asset classes which can help you to escape the rat race. When you're clear about what it is that you want to do, when you choose your path, then it's about building a vision. And when you have that vision and you wake up every morning really clear about where it is you're heading, that bridge turns into this. And you're taking a step every day because you know in your mind what the end goal is. And I'm not saying that it's, it is a tropical island, but whatever that end goal is for you, this is why we talk about your vision, being so clear about what does winning mean to you? What's the whole reason that you're doing this for? Is it more time with family? Is it more money? Is it just less stress? You want to travel? Whatever that is that end goal. And when you're clear about that, then every day you are motivated because you know that every day you're taking a step closer and closer and closer. And hopefully, what I've done here is bring the mentors and the people that can help you get clear about that, myself included, and then we can help you put that plan together so you get there as quickly as possible, as safely as possible. All right. Your escape plan, should you choose to accept it, is to come along like you have tonight. The first step is just coming along. It's just actually attending, which you've all done. Come to a meetup, experience it. Some of you maybe will absolutely love it tonight. Others maybe you'll say, hey, it's not for me. No, that's absolutely fine. You've come along. So well done for that. The next step, really, for those who are committed, and we've said this is a journey and it's going to take at least 12 months, is to join the inner circle. And I'll share some details with you about that a little bit later on. And then attend a workshop. And we run 3 workshops this month: property, trading, and business. So if one of those is something that you particularly want to learn about more, if you've got some ideas about a business, you want to learn how to actually structure that, start making some money, or if you just want to start generating your first few £100 passive income a month, then come along to one of the business workshops. If it's property, then we've got a workshop later this month, and trading, which Zahir will share a bit about, then we've got a workshop coming up later in the month as well. And then we've got the Academy program. You've heard from some of the people here. That's for those that are really committed and really actually want to knuckle down and start really building the business. So we can help. At this point, let's see how we're doing for time. Oh,
well over.
Well over. Okay, we'll catch it up at the end. Don't worry. We're going to finish at 8:30 tonight. Okay, so we're still on track. So at this point, talked about the Academy there. So what I wanted to do tonight to kick off the year, we've got a bit of new branding here, so actually I'm unveiling this for the first time. I hope everyone likes it. Yeah, looking good. Like the colours? Cool. Enter the Escape Mentors. What I'm going to do here is invite our 3 mentors in the core areas of business, trading and property, just to share really a little bit about why each of these strategies can work, how it's worked for them and how it might work for you. There's no hard sell. The only thing I'm really going to push hard on you tonight is the commitment side of things. Is that if you really are serious about generating passive income, building a business, getting out of the 9 to 5 in the next 2 to 3 years, if you really, really are serious about that, it's the commitment. And the commitment really is just to keep coming along, keep mixing with like-minded people, keep getting inspired and motivated. Because probably in your day jobs, there's not too many people in your office who maybe are on the same mindset, yeah? Maybe even in your family, there's not too many people that you can talk about this stuff to. So you can feel a bit lonely and isolated sometimes. So that's why it's so good to come along here. Okay, right, so that being said, I'm going to invite up Rohit Santa, and Rohit will share for 15 minutes with you a little bit about property, and then Vanish, I'll invite you afterwards. So round of applause for Rohit.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Vanish, for the lovely introduction. So guys, I wanted to talk a little bit about my journey, what I've been doing in property. Chris, I met Chris at his very first meetup, and I said to Chris that year, I said, Chris, I'm going to escape my job as well this year, and I did it that year, so that was pretty good. But also, I then approached Chris. I said, Chris, I like what you're doing here. Let's see if there's something that we can do together. And we hit it off from then, so it's been pretty good. So property, there's a lot of people that are interested in property here at the moment, people that are doing it already, which is very good. And I think when I speak to a lot of people, why they've got into it, it's mainly because they like the idea that it brings you passive income, that it grows, that they get financial freedom. But there's a whole other side to it, which a lot of people don't tell you about. And that's when you'll get the boilers that break down, probably around this time of year. You get tenants that are disturbing other tenants. Jacinth has had that experience. You'll get tenants not paying rent. You'll get tenants that just leave the property trashed. That's the the not so good side of it. So whilst there's a very good upside to property, it's important to know what the downside is as well. And I think it's good to have that balanced approach, because people go in and say, I'm going to be a millionaire in property this year and I'm going to do it, leave my job. But it's not that straightforward. It can be done probably, but just to kind of get you into it, and mentally and emotionally, it's got to, you've got to understand that. So I started in 2007, so just over 10 years. Historically, I've been working in kind of corporates, doing city jobs and all of those things. I was working in IT, and I always liked the sound of property. I like seeing building structures. I like, the idea of having a property someday. And I was just driving, it was in West London, I was just driving past a development. It was a Barratt's development. They were building new homes. And I said to my wife, okay, so let's just go in and talk to them. See. She said, what do you want to do? Do you want to buy a property? I said, no, let's just go in. It was a rainy Sunday afternoon. We had nowhere else to go. The shops were closing. I thought, let's just pop in here. I wanted to see what it's about. And I had read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, by the way. So I was kind of getting into the mindset of, yeah, look, this is an asset class. You can actually get income from this and all of those things. So went in, and I walked in. I said, hi, when you first get into property and you're kind of like an investor, the first thing you do is say, hi, yeah, I'm Rohit, I'm a property investor. What deals have you got here today? They look at you and they don't like that approach. I learned that very quickly, because she was ready to show me the door. So I ended up staying there for a little bit. Wife had a tea and we managed to sit down. And I was speaking to her. I said, so, there's deals going on. How much are they going for, and all of those things. She presented me some deals, and I actually found out that day that they were approaching the end of their quarter. So if you know how some of these development cycles work, that they need to sell. So if you see phase one, like Barratt's has a phase one, they're selling out, they're really pushing the free stamp duty and all of those things, those deals. They're doing that because they need to finish it by a certain stage in time and actually move on to the next development. So that's key for them. And I was quite fortunate. I approached them in that sort of time. So there was actually a deal to be had. I just didn't know it. It was only through actually asking questions and understanding a little bit was I able to kind of mull it over in my head. And I thought, okay, this probably could work. So I was still being a little bit cocky, and I said, okay, so if you do this for me, I'll put a deposit down today. It's a reservation fee. I think it was £1,000 or £500. I'll do it today. She says, oh, look, we can't do it. I asked for something like stamp duty paid, free legals, all the furniture to be included, all of these things. And I also asked for 20k off on top of that. So I said, if you can do this deal today, I will sign it today. And she literally had 2 days before they needed to sell it. So went away. She said, okay, look, I've got to speak to my boss and whatever. So in my mind, I closed the deal out. I thought, okay, I tried it. It was worth a shot. I've got some experience, had some good conversation, sounded pretty good. Got in the car, was driving home, and I think about 40 minutes later, I got a call, and I'd forgotten about it by this stage, quite a short memory, but 40 minutes later, she calls and says, look, I spoke to my area manager, and he says, we can do it, but you've got to give it today. Give me your card details today, and you've got to sign the form and all of those things. I said, fab. So I was in. Fast forward, it took a little while to close, actually exchange and complete the deal, because they ask you for a lot of paperwork and all of this stuff. And I'm thinking, well, why is it so complicated? You've got to get all this. And so we got all that in the end. And when I first got the keys, it was actually a defining moment, because I got the keys, and that's when I really started to shit myself. Because I thought, okay, now I've got a mortgage coming out on this date, and I don't know how the hell I'm going to pay it, because, okay, I'll pay it, but, I'll really struggle to pay it, So I was calling up the agents, I was getting quotes, and I wanted to get a tenant in. So managed to get a tenant in, and that was when I actually started to appreciate it and actually sit back a little bit. And then I got a phone call. So I got the phone call from the tenant a month later. Oh, the trays in the fridge have broken. Can you replace them? Something of that sort. And I said, okay, and then obviously I didn't, but we started to get to that stage, because before I was doing the lettings, I was actually learning. They were asking me, are you doing it furnished, unfurnished? I wasn't sure, So we've done it furnished, and my wife's going into these shops. Oh, you got to get this nice bin. You know, it's professional people. You got to spend extra. And I was like, no, you can't. You know, just get them a bin. You don't. It doesn't need to be a stainless steel or whatever it is. Little things like that, because you start mounting things up. You know, as you're buying things, and you can get quite emotional with properties. You get it, but when you get yourself out of the mindset of it being too emotional and actually just look at the facts, figures, and base your decisions on that. That actually becomes very useful, and that's what we did. So over time, I started buying some more. I've got some buy-to-lets and bought them across the UK. Actually, I've got properties in Scotland, Midlands, and since then I've done a few HMO conversions. So for me, it was the next natural step. After I had a few tenancies, I thought, okay, what do we do now? You know, I learned enough about this part. Now, what do I do next? So we would buy a 4-bedroom house and do some conversion, make it into a 6-bedroom, get the license, turn it into a HMO. So once we had done a few of those, I actually then recently got into kind of doing the rent-to-rent, if anyone knows about how rent-to-rent works, yeah. Basically, the element is that you don't buy the property, you actually control the property, and you can control it in such a way that it gives you income, passive income. You still need to work once you've got the tenants in, there's some bits to do, but as you grow in that area, you can actually alleviate a lot of the tasks and leverage those. So the key thing for me in doing all of this is actually, when I left my job and I thought I was becoming a property investor and all those things, whilst it's property, I actually learned more about becoming an entrepreneur. And that's the key thing here, because the mindset of an entrepreneur is such that whatever happens, you'll find a way through. And whether it's property trading or whatever it is you've got to use that approach. I mean, who's heard about the tax changes coming in property? A lot of investors are going away from it. And you know, some people are trying to find solutions to work around it. I set up a lettings agency last year because I wanted to find my own deals and get control of my own deals. And within that, there's legislation that they're getting rid of tenancy fees and all of those things. So, you know, you're thinking now, okay, what do I do? Do I pack up or do I find another way through? Because not every estate agency is going to close down in the area, but they'll find a way through and trying to disrupt the industry. And so that's what that's the kind of approach that we're taking. So, yeah, and so that's kind of what I've been doing, what I am doing. And you know, we've got an academy. We've got some of the members here, and we actually help people who are very much starting out, have just learnt about asset income and all of those things to invest. But also, it's about getting people into a community. It's a bit like this. You get people into a community, all like-minded, share your challenges, and actually work out solutions in that environment. So that's what's key here. So yeah, there's nothing else from me, but in terms of, because I know Chris has been talking a fair bit, so we've got very little time. We are holding a workshop. It's just around property. It's about putting solutions on the page, finding deals, how to find them, how to monetize them so they work for you and bring you residual income, which a lot of people are interested in, and how you can actually work out a plan to say, okay, this is how many I will need in order to escape the rat race. This is what I need to do. You'll actually know that information by the end of leaving that workshop. It's only for 2 hours, and we're holding it on. I'll share the details. Yeah, it's this month we're holding it, so it'll be good to see you guys there. That's it. We're having a Q&A afterwards, so we'll go through any questions. But I'll bring on next.
Here, actually.
Okay, so my name is Zahir. I've been trading since 2007. Anyone here trading? No, everyone's into property. Yeah, it's kind of normally the sort of percentage ratio. A lot of people looking into property. I think a lot of people look into trading, but they don't really tell anyone because it's usually not going so well. Look, it's just a business opportunity. To give you a brief background of myself, I started in software engineering. I hated it. I then became an English teacher. It's good, no money in it. And then became a photographer. It's great. Hours are horrendous. Again, money's okay. It depends if you get good contracts. We had contracts with Coca-Cola, Audi, Tatler. So if you do get good contracts, then there's good money in it. But other than that, you're struggling because it's a digital medium now, and Universities are churning out really talented individuals. So it becomes very saturated. I had a lot of money. I looked at property, too much work for me. I'm kind of lazy. I wanted something that I could do from home. Trading fit perfectly around that. Now, the thing about trading is that I'm assuming that you think I sit in front of my computer all day making money. Am I right? Yeah, laptop, day trading, that's the general idea, but it's nothing like that. Good trading is like investing. You want to look for opportunities that are low risk, hold for long periods of time, return you good money. That's trading. It's as simple as that. The markets do three things. Do I have a pen? Yeah, behind you. Yeah, great. Okay. So as a trader, I look at four markets now, actually, which you guys probably aren't surprised with. So FX, stocks, and commodities. But also now, I'm sure you guys all have heard cryptos, right? Okay. Now I've been playing around with cryptos in the last 2 months, and it's very interesting. It is very interesting, and I think it is something that's here to stay, but as a percentage of what I've invested, this is a tiny amount, but the returns are pretty astounding, if I'm honest with you. But ultimately, the markets do three things. The markets go up, the markets go down, the markets go sideways. As traders, what we want to be able to identify is where the two most profitable environments are. And that's why you need to have a portfolio across these four markets, because not all of these are actually trending. These markets here, whether they're going up or whether they're going down, these are called trends. And these are the most profitable environments. Now, a very simple way of me to explain this is if you look at investors, they want to buy something low and sell it high. That's the simple philosophy to good investing. However, as a trader, I can make money going the other way. So I can make money going up, which is to go long, or I can make money when the market's going down, which is to short the market. But often markets go sideways, and that's when we really should be doing nothing. So there can be periods of time where I don't make any money, but the returns that can be made in trending markets are pretty phenomenal. What you need to trade: good software, good education, and desire. If you've got those three things, it's just another business opportunity.
Thank you.
We'll be doing some questions. Okay. So I'm going to do the business one. Okay. So let's get a couple of things in place. So first thing is this. All right. How many people here are going to make £1 million come into their bank account at some stage? See, you see all the people like the Grace with the folded arms. Yeah, you got to start believing that £1 million. Okay, all right. You got to say that is possible for me. Some people have a mindset of it's not, they don't deserve it, or what have I got to do, right? But you've got to figure that out. That's the easy bit, right? Now, what I'm going to try to help you understand, right, is the different ways that can happen, all right? So £1 million is going to come to you in some shape or form, yeah? As long as you're healthy and you've got some level of education, yeah? Okay? Now, here is the thing that you have to understand is first thing I want all you guys to do is think, what resources do you have? Okay? Because you're all looking at potentially starting a business, yeah? Okay? So, here's what I'm going to do, because we've got a small amount of time. You only have 4 resources, right, that you can invest into your future venture. Okay? Anyone want to tell me what those are?
Time.
Time? Yeah. Money.
Knowledge, skills.
Knowledge.
People.
Okay. You as an individual, you as a CEO, you as the entrepreneur, right, have 4 resources: time, money, right, energy, okay, and emotion, right? Because that is all that you have when you start as an entrepreneur, right? Okay. Now, what happens is what most people don't do is they're trying to figure out the end result as opposed to what you've got. So what you must remember, we're at the start of this year, you've 4 resources. Right, now you have to find, these 2 are a little bit difficult to measure. We'll do that another day. But let's start with time and money. Okay, so here is something you've got to realize. Number one, okay, is you have 2,000 hours to invest. Okay, all of us have 2,000 hours. Okay, what we have to decide is how we're going to invest that. Right, we'll have some money. Okay, I'll put a number X. Okay, there is a certain level. Some may have a small amount of money, some have. Now, here is what I find: most people, right, don't know how to invest these resources. So we always start with, tell me how you're going to manage your resources, because number one thing that you've got to do is know how you're going to allocate those resources. Who's here is the very first meeting? It's their first meeting, right? Grace. Grace has lots of energy. Yeah, okay. Now, who's been at this for like 3 or 4 years? Who's been in their entrepreneurial journey for a couple of years, right? Right? So what happens is your energy goes down every year, okay? Right? Because the grind starts getting to you, right? Emotion, okay? Everyone's in the beginning very etheric. They're like optimistic, right? After a couple of years, the grind gets you in, right? You've got to control your emotions. So managing these resources. Now, here's what I'm going to show you. The £1 million that you have, you've got these 4 resources, but what I want to get you to start thinking is about how you allocate that. Because what you need to remember is you're going to do this, and this amount of money is going to come through your bank account in your lifetime. Right? What's going to determine whether you escape the rat race or not, right, is how you manage these resources to get that result. Okay? So, first thing that you want to realize is, okay, that you basically have 4 ways, okay, in which you can become able to make that money. You've got 4 skills that you want to work on the next couple of years. Okay? Right? That's all there is perfect those 4 skills, and you'll get a greater chance of the £1 million coming into your bank account, and you'll be able to preserve that time, energy and emotion and some of that money that you have. Okay? So here's the first one that some people choose, right? They do the time, right, times money, right? Okay? So we call this like a job. Okay? They develop the skill of being able to get people to give them a certain amount of money based upon turning up at a certain place, doing a certain thing. Okay? Has everyone learnt that system? Right? And they've been able to make that, right? So what happens is, we look back. Now, here's what I want you to do. Look back in the last 5 years and see how much time did you allocate being in that environment, right? Where you trade time for money. Okay? Now, the reason why it's really important is this. For most people, if you've been working 5 or 10 years, here is what you end up doing, right? You end up spending about 1% of your time, right, doing interviews, okay, and about 99% doing the job. Okay. Now, what I used to do when I started, I worked in IT, so I would work in organisations around this place, okay, sorting out their IT. I actually went and spent a whole time at university to learn IT, okay, and here is what I learned. Right? I used to go for an interview. Typical interview would last about an hour. Okay? If I had 3 interviews, I had 2 people saying, on Monday, can you start? And we'll give you a contract for this amount of money. Okay? Now, here's what I would do. I would be doing interviews every single week. But unfortunately, in that contract, guess what it said? Right? It said I had to turn up. Right? Okay? Right? So, this is why people play this time for money thing. Right? Now, here's the other skill that you want to work on. Okay? Is you want to work on another thing which we call performance. Okay? Now, this is a skill where you get paid not based upon turning up for a job interview and selling yourself at doing the job, right? But you get paid per action. Do you see? Right? And that's one of the other areas you want to look at. So that's another area that we're going to work on a little bit. The other one, right, is ownership. Okay? Now specifically, we'll call that asset ownership. Okay? You can make money, right, owning an asset. So this is why people, Zahir is talking about trading. Okay? That is learning the skill involved in owning an asset, buying a share that may be low value today and then selling it when it's higher value later on. Okay, it can be with a property. Okay, it can be cash. Right, there can be any form of asset. Okay, now here's what happens. How much time in the last 5 years did you spend learning this arena, learning skills in that area. Okay? Now, the fourth system, right, is what we call systems. Okay? They're the only ways you are ever going to get that £1 million to come into your bank account. Now, here is why most people, right, never escape the rat race. Because they get stuck here in the 99%. Okay? First thing I tell people is you're going to have 2,000 hours, right? What you need to do is take the sacrifice of taking some of that out of here in the doing and invest it in these. Okay? Now, most people don't know performance, right? They certainly don't know systems, right? And they don't know asset ownerships. The skill, that's what you're going to work on. Okay? That is what you need to learn to become an entrepreneur. Just spend time doing those, right? So who do we have here that wants to become an entrepreneur? Right, Gareth stood up, Jess stood up. Yeah? So we're going to give you a challenge right now. Okay. So, tell me a bit about your business, Gareth. Tell me a bit about your business.
Very early stage, so I'm building the foundation of basically an entrepreneur.
Why don't you come up so that way everyone can see? And Jess, if you mind doing the same. Go. So you got just so for the benefit of the audience.
Yes.
Very quickly.
Very early stage. I want to build a network of environmental entrepreneurs.
Brilliant.
So an entrepreneurship.
And what about you, Jess?
Super early stage, developing a product, a brand new accessory idea. I currently work in the music industry, so I do have a full-time job.
Brilliant. Okay, so I'm going to give you a book, right? And so we're going to now get people to practice. So we're going to get them to do performance, right? So they've got 2 minutes in which to sell the book, right? You can sell the book for £10, right? And you'll have 2 minutes. So are you ready up for the challenge?
Yeah,
Yeah?
that's cool. Yeah.
All right. So I'll give you a bit of time to have a little think, and then who wants to go first?
I'll do it.
All right. So if we give the stage over, Gareth, and then you can come over. All right.
Yeah.
So away you go. So let's give her a round of applause, Jess. You can sit here if you want. Whatever. Sit there. Right. You got 2 minutes.
Right.
Go pitch.
Where am I going to summon this bullshit from? Here we go. So, when was the last time that you read a book that really changed your life in a way that maybe made you not sleep at night, or it reevaluated the way you thought of your reflection in the mirror, or the way that you interpreted your family, the way that your job made you feel when you arrived? Has anybody ever read a book that has made them think differently? Yeah? Yeah. Did it last, those feelings? Did you do anything about it, or was it just a momentary blip? Yeah. Okay. 50-50. Well, this. This book is going to change your life. All this costs is 10 little quid. That's like a pint of craft beer, right? I promise you, if you buy this book, you read it this week, next week is a different ball game. I promise that.
Okay, so round of applause. Now, we can hear in her voice, right, like she's trembling, right, like, oh shit, yeah, okay? And the reason is you have to spend that time, invest it, right? Sitting in the seat is the easy thing, right? Being up on stage, being under the spotlight, having to do something that is uncomfortable, right? This is the thing that you have to internalize to get your emotions around, right? Learning to sell, to say something, okay? And what you have to do is get through that first minute, yeah? Okay, and your brain was thinking, how do I do all of that, yeah? So we're going to do a little bit of a critique. We're going to get Gareth up, yeah? Okay, and he's now going to have to go through it. You ready? Away you go, sir.
All right. So everyone wants to learn how to sell. There's probably 10,000 books on how to sell stuff, right? This is not just a book about selling. This is the book about selling. There is nothing that touches this book. This guy here He is the irrefutable laws of leadership guy. He says, buy this book. And there's a whole list of celebrities here. They say this is the best sales book ever. It's backed by probably 10 years of research.
Don't worry about distractions, you keep going.
The top VPs for sales in the top 100 blue chip companies all read this book. That's how they got to where they are. Normally retails for 20 quid, but if you have a tenner right now, I'll give it to you right now. Who's got a tenner? Anyone? You got a tenner? You want it? Sure, sir. You're going to have to show me that tenner.
Cool. Round of applause. Okay. Now, here's what happens. All of you have to go through that emotion because whatever business idea you have, right, you've got to practice. Now, what tends to happen is entrepreneurs get sucked into creating stuff, right? That's why we always start with practice selling something because the hard thing is this, is convincing someone to give you £10. Yeah, okay. So I'm going to give you a little tip just so that, because you're all going to have to go through this. You see the common pattern is everyone distances themselves from the object, okay? Right? So first thing is, remember this, you're never selling stuff, right? What is it you're selling, Jess?
An idea.
No, you're selling you, right? Always remember this, right? Okay? I put you into a difficult position because what you have to remember is you're constantly selling yourself. Hi, my name's Vanish, okay? And what you do is whatever the product is you're selling a recommendation, okay? So what you do is don't get distracted by hundreds of people. Pick one person, right? Figure out their problem, okay? And then once you have your problem, right, this is the solution or your way, okay? Sir, you got your £10?
Yeah.
Yeah? Stood up, please. Stood up. Stood up. Stood up, please. Yeah? Okay?
Do I
so
actually have to go and fetch it?
that's okay. We're going to do an IOU. Yeah? So here we go. First thing, cash. Right? Now, the reason is this, okay? If they don't have it in their hand, they can't buy it. Right? It's no good in your hand. Right? See what he's doing now? Is he's touching it, he's connecting with it. Right? Your job is always to be the guide. Right? You never sell stuff. Right? You let people buy. Okay? So first thing that you do is you let them touch and feel it. Yeah? Okay, so Henry, I don't want you to buy the book. I want you to read it. Yeah? So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to enter into a contract with you, right? Okay? So what's going to happen is you're going to get £10. Yeah? Have you got £10 with you?
I have, yeah.
Right, okay, get it out. Right? Yeah, well, okay. No, we're going to make it harder for you because you're going to be an entrepreneur. So who else here has got £10 in their pocket? Leah, you've got £10 in your pocket. Right. Right, okay, so stood up, sir, stood up. Yeah? You got £10 in your pocket? Oh, Nigel, do you trust Henry? Oh, okay, good. Right, so now you found someone to give you the money. Remember this, Henry, right? You're an entrepreneur. The money's always in the room, right? Don't go looking for it. What you need to learn is the skill of leverage, ownership of assets. Someone else has money, okay? You need to learn how to do that. So you've got now what?
I've now got his £10.
Yeah.
My £10.
Right. Yeah, cool. So now here's what's going to happen is you're going to give me the £10. Yeah? Now here's what's going to happen is I'm going to give you, a bit later on, I'll give you my contact details, right? And you are going to send me an email 30 days from now, right? And it's going to say, this is the benefit that I got from the book. Okay? Now if you didn't get the benefit from the book, okay, I am going to return £11 back. Because everyone that does business with me, right, gets a good return. So you then get a return. Are we done?
Yeah, I like that.
There you
That's
go.
a good deal.
Right. Now, the thing that you have to learn is you all have to learn, right, how to pitch, present, and package and make an offer. Right? But remember, you're always selling you. Okay? Right? But the thing that you want to figure out is don't just say, okay, this is it. Figure out people's problems. Okay? Once someone starts talking about a problem, okay, you will then know whether it's right or not, right, to sell the solution, which is your part of. Okay? Get people engaged, interact. All right? So when you put your hand out here, okay, watch what will happen. Right? They will interact. Money cannot flow from between me and Grace until this happens, until we connect at a human level. Yeah? So that's the first part of all business, right, is connecting at a human level, okay, understanding people's pains and problems, and then figuring out how you present your solution, and then you do it with style so they feel happy once they bought. How do you feel, Henry? Did you wake up this morning thinking, I'm going to buy a book from Vanish?
I didn't actually.
Right, but tell me how you feel right now.
I'm excited to read it.
Cool. And I've given you the homework that you got to do a report in 30 days. True?
Yeah.
Yeah? So what does that mean? He's got to commit to not just buying the book, but engaging, benefiting, and in 30 days I'm going to check back and I'm going to say one of two things then. Do I return £11 or do you keep the book? Yeah? That means that he's getting value because it's not just me selling the book. Yeah? Because then what will happen is, when I follow through with him, right, he's going to tell other people, this is a good person to do business. And because we've had one little small interaction, and this is the important thing, when you get good at selling a little small item, the transaction of doing a £10,000 transaction is exactly the same. The only thing is, it's a little bit more emotion, right? Takes a little bit longer. His thinking time takes a bit more, right? You have to help him figure out how to get the money, right? Once he's decided he wants the book, then the next bit is, how are we going to get the money, right? Now, here's what's going to happen. After a month, you're going to make sure you're going to pay back Rohit, aren't you?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah? And you're going to lend him the book after books because he joint ventured with you.
Absolutely.
Yeah? Now, give my entrepreneurs a round of applause. Yeah? Good. No. You're going to finish, Jess. You're going to sell the next book. You can do it. Come on. There's somebody here that wants to buy the book from you. You've got to allow them. Now, let's have another go. But take in some of those thoughts.
He's really mean, isn't he? Who wants to help me out? Yeah, I have this book in my hands which I've read and I thought it was amazing. So I'd like to share it with somebody if you want to take a little look. Is anybody interested in changing their life? No! Wow!
Now, here's what's
Am I
happening.
in the wrong room?
Here's what happens is you have to wait. It's always based on their time. So what you want to always do is you don't want to get them to decide. Because some people are decision makers, like Henry, he's going to be really quick. Others are ponderers. They have to think. They're going to come up to you, right? And then they'll come to you before the end of the night, and then they'll say, right, I'm ready. And they'll chat with you because they just want to do it in a public format. Yeah? But you need to wait for them when they're ready to buy. Remember, help people.
Anthony's jealous.
Anthony. Right, so guys, we're going to finish. Give Jess a round of applause. This is what we're going to spend 2 hours at the workshop doing. Helping you figure out what your product's going to be, helping you figure out how to do your pitch, how to figure out how to find out the pain, and all those other. That is the skill that you want to work on, which is in the performance and working out the systems. And then working out the assets. These are the areas that you guys need to spend a bit more time. Get yourself uncomfortable so that in 10 years' time, you are going to be comfortable. Yeah? All right, so we are going to hand back to...
Well, I'm going to invite all the three mentors back quickly. So here, if you don't mind making your way. And we just have a quick, I'm sure out of all of those presentations, there were maybe a few questions. So now's the time. Open environment, safe environment. If you've got some questions for any of the guys about property, trading, business, let's just start with, who wants to start? Henry, thank you. So.
A question for us to hear. You mentioned short selling the market.
Yeah.
What exactly does that mean? I've heard that mentioned before, but I've never.
Okay.
So short the market, you said.
Yeah, I'll explain in a particular way. Imagine we're going on a holiday, and you're driving my car. So you're taking me to the airport. You're driving my car. When I get to the airport, I say, Henry, look after my car. Okay. So you take my car. I'm away for 2 months, but you already got a car. You don't need my car. So what do?
Park it.
No, you'd sell it. If you're smart, right? If you're smart, you'd sell it. Okay, you do a bit of research and you think, okay, look, this car's going to depreciate over the next 3 months. So you take my car and you sell it to the nearest, I don't know, Mercedes showroom, and you get to 100k for the car. 2 months later, I come back. What do I want? I want my car. So if you're smart, you realise, go back to the showroom, my car's still there. What's happened in the 2 months? It's depreciated. So that same car is now worth 80k. So you buy it back, you profit from the 20k, and I get my car back. That's short selling. So you can do that in the market. Effectively, what you're doing is you're borrowing an entity from someone, i.e. the broker. You're then doing your wheeling and dealing in between. You give it back, you keep the profit.
So in trading terms, that would be selling the stock.
That you don't
buy
own
it.
it.
Oh, that I don't
Oh,
own.
to be borrowed.
Exactly.
Is
So
that
you get the stock.
leveraging?
No, forget leverage.
But how
Leverage
do
will
you
blow
borrow
accounts.
stock?
What's that?
How do you borrow a stock?
It's theoretical, yeah, because it's all done through online platforms.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you press short selling in your platform, effectively you're theoretically borrowing the entity from the broker, and then you're giving it back at whatever price you want to.
Is there what's that the borrow period?
Whatever you want, however you want to hold it for.
Admittedly, I'm still pretty new into trading, so I need to.
So all you're doing is you're falling into this ownership of asset, right? It can also be the reverse. It can be the working out how you profit. So what Zio's talking about is people only know buy something that's going to increase in value,
Yeah.
right? You can profit from the value, the fact that it's going to be less, right? Because you borrow. Again, well, how did you buy the book?
I borrowed.
Right. So you learn how to leverage someone else's asset to your transaction. Now, here's the thing, it's good that your brain is confused, because Zahir understands that because they've done it many times, and this is the whole thing about learning a skill, right, which is not in the arena that you're used to, which is time for money. You see? Yeah? So remember, you're going to make £1 million, right? Just the slowest way is going to be the time for money, yeah, depending on how much time you have and the rate, okay? If you've got a couple of good ideas, you can borrow. In your analogy, you can have 4 cars.
Well, that's where compounding comes in.
Exactly.
So if my car's gone down over 2 months and I'm away for another 2 months, you'll go source another Mercedes at £80,000, wait for that to come down to £60,000 while I'm away. You give my car back to me, you've made 40k. The other car, you give it back and you make 20k, so you made 60k. So that's where the compound effect comes in.
Obviously, you've got to know at that point that it is going down.
That's the risk element.
Yeah.
Your 20k or the 100k that you've spent to buy my car, that should be no more than a certain percentage of what you've got. So, if you're buying 100k cars, you're a very wealthy individual.
It could work the other way, in that you might have a 100k car, and then 2 months later when he comes back, it's at 120. Right? Yeah. So that's the risk you're taking, but the key
Correct.
is that you are learning based upon being expert at asset ownership, right, and understanding when it's worth to own an asset, when it's worth to sell an asset. That's the thing that you are getting from. So whichever way you're working, it's those different avenues, and then just working out which way you want to work on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Don't mean to hog.
Next question. Yeah. Who's got a question? Gareth, go.
Presumably you're going to say that the details later, but the 3 different academies.
Yes. So what we're going to have is there'll be a workshop that we normally recommend people to come on to based on whichever one. I personally would always suggest, if you're getting started, go to all 3, right? And the reason is because one thing that's really important is don't get sucked in by the amount of money you can make from any of those vehicles, right? What you need to do is figure out which one is going to fit your personality, right? Because you've got to manage your energy and your emotion. You can see this man here, he's very calm, collected, right? Disciplined, You can tell he's a trader, right? He doesn't care, he just wants to know what the symbol is, yeah? Okay, I'm the complete opposite, I'm emotional. I have to connect with a person, an individual, so that the transaction can occur. So you have to figure out what your personality is. If you're the Terminator type people, then probably trading where you don't see the other person and the other, and you can do that. And then the others where you have a personality, right? But all of us, whichever vehicle you choose, you will see that there's discipline and structure, yeah? And I would always recommend try to figure out which one is going to fit you, and that's again meet the mentors, because which method people use and the type of person you're going to connect with is probably best, and some things are going to be easier than others, yeah?
So we had a lot of property people in the room, so let's take a property question. Sophia?
Can I ask something?
Yeah.
I've just done a bit of research, and I've heard a lot of people are buying properties with no upfront money, so basically co-funding or crowdfunding, whatever you call it. Is how realistic is it?
It is very realistic. It actually happens a lot. So it's, what they mean by no money down is none of their own money.
Yeah.
So if you look at the
That
situation,
sounds interesting.
yeah.
Right,
So if you look at the situation just now with Henry and the book, he didn't use any of his money.
Yeah.
He leveraged and JV'd with me, borrowed my money. I was the one that wanted the interest, so I lent him the money and said, 50% interest, fantastic rate. And then he would.
So I'll outbid him and just say it's 10. Because I like Henry now. So I'm going to bid him. Yeah? I know I got to sell the book, but I can have vendor finance.
But this was a finance agreement. All we would do is lend him the money.
Yeah.
He would then use that to purchase the item, the property. In some way, he'd want to add some value to it. And once that's gone up in value, the idea is to either sell it or find an exit route. There's ways around it. You can either.
Is it easy to find these these kind of people, or do you have to really work hard?
They're all in the room here.
You have to work hard. You have to work hard in anything.
How much do you want to buy?
I really want to buy, but I don't have no deposit.
No, okay, don't.
Yeah.
Okay, you need to think like an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, number one, okay, you need to think, I need to develop an asset.
Yeah.
Okay, so the first thing is this, is every person in this room, every person you meet, if you get their business card, that becomes an asset in your business, right? Give me an example of value of property that you want to buy, roughly. Who here wants to buy a property at some point in the next 5 years, right? Sylvia, roughly how much would that property cost?
Oh, it depends which area. I mean, in London,
Roughly?
let's say 500,000.
500,000. Okay. What about you? Do you want to be in London? Outside of London? Where do you want to?
At the moment, I want to be maybe out of London, because I think when
So how much will that property cost?
100,000 maybe.
100,000. Okay. So here's what you need to do. You need to write this down. If I want to buy a property for 100,000, right? I need to collect 100 business cards so that I can leverage that asset, which is the relationships, so that the money to be able to buy the property will come in. Yeah, if Henry wants to buy 500,000, how many business cards has he got collected?
500.
There you go. Right? How many hands up here who's got more than 500 business cards collected from going to these sort of things? Right, it's a small percentage of people. Right. So what happens is once you develop that skill, right, that money will come. And whether you do that from account, that's the reason why you're again leveraging the asset. So that would be the same thing that you would do working through.
Yeah, exactly.
It's developing that skill though, because I feel like there's a lot of barriers, like for me right now. So
let's take this example: £100,000 property, right? If you took out a buy-to-let mortgage on this, you'd need 25% deposit. Who in here has got £25,000 in their bank or can get access to and would like a good return on it?
Yeah. A few hands.
Yeah. If you're an investor, then there you go. So
go on. So what's her fear?
So your fear is actually meeting and approaching these people and saying, can I borrow £25,000 for this return to do this? And that's it. That's the gap. So if you develop that, meet people, have coffees, tell them what you're doing, what you're looking to do, what you can give them, then that will become very real for you.
Do you see? Right. So here's what happens is most people don't feel that the money they deserve coming to them.
Yeah.
I think
That's
it just
a
might
mental
be
thing.
awareness, right? That's basically what it is. If she wants to know how to do it, I think that's why you're here.
Yeah. So it's like
I don't know if it's a fear yet.
Sure.
You haven't been in that environment, right?
It's like what to say, yeah.
Right. I'm going to call time on the mentors because we are buffering, but of course we're going to finish at 8:30 very shortly. We'll have half an hour or so to hang out. If you have any specific questions.
Tell people about the workshop.
Yeah, so I'm going to now.
Should we get out of the way?
Yeah, let's get out of the way. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you for our mentors, please. Okay, so just before I wrap it up, let's see, I did promise we'll be finished at 8:30, so we've got 10 minutes, okay? And what we're going to do over the next 10 minutes, I'm just going to ask you first and foremost, who's learned something tonight? Yeah? Who's had their brain stimulated? Yeah? Still not everyone, not fully convinced? Yeah? Okay, no problem. So good, I hope you've enjoyed tonight, especially those of you who it's the first time. And really, for now, what I said to you earlier, it's not a hard sell event, but what I will push on you is the idea that if you're serious, you've got to commit. You've got to keep coming along and you've got to get surrounded by the right people, okay? So we're going to hand out some forms now. Elena over there, if you don't mind distributing those with Dee Dee. There's 3 forms for each of you. Just take a look. We've got some pencils as well. If you need a pencil, just ask Dee Dee or Elena. And whilst those are getting passed out, I will just share with you you can walk away from tonight and you can say, hey, I had a great night, go to bed, wake up tomorrow morning and just really slip back into your old life, you know, back at the desk, and all of the notes and ideas that you had tonight will just slowly slip away. And you can choose to do that, that's absolutely fine. Or you can really choose to decide to look forward. We talked about the bridge that leads you to the goal you want to get to, and to really form a clear idea. And for me, that was something that I found really difficult, really working on your vision, your purpose, your mission. But it's something to get clear about. So there's 3 forms. Most of you have got forms now by the looks of it. So let me just explain to you these 3 forms. You'll see the first one, the creamy coloured one, is the Inner Circle membership. The second one is where we've got the workshops that our mentors just spoke about. And the third one is the feedback form. Okay, so let me just take the top one, the Inner Circle membership, and just explain to you what this is. So the Inner Circle membership is, as it says really, it's an opportunity to come along to Escape the Rat Race meetups for the next 12 months. And you can pay...
Some pencil shape.
Yeah. You can pay a fee of just £100, and that will get you into the next 12 events. So not only do you save money, but you take 12 decision-making processes away every month of, shall I go, am I busy, who's the speaker? Every month I invite different speakers. So for those of you that have come to previous events, you'll know that we have marketing experts, we have different property people, we have public speaking, if that's something you're interested in, investment, all areas. So you can come and you can really get inspired every month by new ideas, new people, new connections. So we've got over 30 recordings of the previous meetups, and Inner Circle members not only get access to all of the events for the next 12 months, but you also get access to all of the speaker recordings, and they're all in a private members area online, which you'll get access to straight away. And you also get some bonuses. So Wealth Dynamics is an entrepreneur profile test, which I recommend everyone that I work with takes. It tells you which of the 8 entrepreneur profiles you are. Now, some of us are creators, we're coming up with ideas. Others are really good at connecting and building teams. Others are good at service and timing. And others are good at more the analytical side of things, the numbers, the systems, the spreadsheets, slightly more introvert. Okay, so we all sit somewhere on that, and Wealth Dynamics helps you identify that, and then shows you how to actually leverage that in terms of what you're interested in, what your skills are, and what some of the best business opportunities might be for you. So you get a discount on that. You'll also get a discount voucher on the 5-step Freedom Formula program, which I run, which is a foundation program for people who aren't yet generating any additional income through assets. It's very much a foundation to get your mindset straight, to work on your financial statement, to get clear about, we've covered the wealth dynamics, and then really, what are you going to focus on? And a lot of people in your position maybe are spinning several plates, trying out lots of different ideas. And I've been there, I've done that, I tell you now, that is not the fastest way to success. But at the beginning, it's okay. You've got to try a few things. But the idea is to try and find the winning formula as quickly as possible. So all of this stuff is included in the Inner Circle membership. And if you commit to coming every month, to taking 4 hours out every month to come along here, then I will commit 100% to you as well. So details on the back. If you are interested in joining the Inner Circle membership, just fill out your details on the back there, and outside Elena will be able to just help finalise your registration. Now, second form you have here, we have got a couple of options for you here. Book your ticket for next month's event, come along. We're normally actually downstairs in a much bigger room, and we have music and we've got our own bar. So tonight we're a little bit squashed up. Thank you for cuddling up, and it's been a bit warm. But normally we're downstairs, so we'll be back down there next month. That's Escape the Rat Race 32, and my guest speaker next month is Graham Price. So Graham, would you mind introducing yourself? And a round of applause for Graham, just to give him a welcome.
There you go. Okay, so hi everyone.
Just a couple of minutes about what you'll be speaking about next month.
Okay, so basically I'm a psychologist. I do a lot of work in the area of psychology and development training, in helping people to change all sorts of things in their lives. And I wouldn't say I'm the cleverest person in the world, okay? I didn't go to Oxbridge, I didn't get a first in my degree, but I consider I'm one of the luckiest people in the world, and luck counts for a lot in life. And I met somebody when I was quite a lot younger than I am now, who told me the thing I'm going to be talking about next month, which is how to create a powerful mindset. I'd never heard it before, I put it into practice. My life changed dramatically as a result. In fact, if I take that one thing that I was taught early in my life, and all the other skills and abilities and stuff that have contributed to me having a very successful life and being a good psychologist and so on, which one of those two things do you think has had the biggest impact on my success and my enjoyment and my abilities generally in life? The mindset or everything else put together? Absolutely. In fact, Christian mentioned it earlier on today. Mindset is so valuable, so important. Everyone should know how to create a powerful mindset. It's the single thing which will have the biggest impact in your life. That's what I'm going to be talking about. That's what I'm going to be telling you about next month.
Thanks, Graham. Thank you. So if you'd like to join us again next month and hear Graham speak about mindset and really progress your entrepreneurial journey further, tick the top box there, okay? And then we have our 3 workshops. So we've got the Side Hustle Workshop. This really is for anyone who is looking to start monetizing ideas and generating up to £500 a month. So we're not talking necessarily, really long-term business strategy. It's just to get you thinking like an entrepreneur. To surround yourself, we sit round a table, there'll be maximum 15 people, and if you come with your ideas, myself and my co-host that night will help you to strategize, to brainstorm, and we'll look at how can you make some money maybe selling products online, what skills have you got, maybe you can teach something, all sorts of ideas. There are literally so many ways to start generating a few extra £100 every month. So that's the Side Hustle Workshop. If you have got a business idea and you just want to sit down and start planning that out, we can absolutely help with that as well. So you'll see that's on this purple form as well. That's on Tuesday the 23rd of January. Tickets are £15. Property Investing Workshop. Myself and Rohit will be running that one. So if property is something you are really looking to accelerate this year, come along to the Property Workshop. That's on Wednesday, 24th January. And the Trading Workshop with Zahir, where we will spend a couple of hours really helping you to understand how to trade the markets, how to profit from those 4 areas that Zahir spoke about. Really is a very time efficient way, certainly not sitting in front of a computer every day, and the returns can be very good from that as well. So that's on Thursday the 25th of January. So if any of those interest you, if you want to come to 2 or even all 3, no problem, tick the box, fill out the form. So if you're interested, start putting your name and your details down there now, and we can take payment, get you booked on, get your seats reserved tonight for you outside, and Dee Dee gives away. Dee Dee will help if you want to come to the meetup and any of the workshops. So finally, before we wrap this up, next month's meetup is Escape the Rat Race 32. It's on Wednesday the 7th of February. We will begin again. Your birthday, Henry. Great. So you give us a report on the book, yeah? Better way to celebrate. Okay, and early bird tickets, if you register online or register tonight by ticking this and just get it booked so you know I'm in 7th of Feb next month, and if you book tonight you can bring a friend for free as well. Okay, so that's it folks. I hope you all had a very good evening, and please do hang around, network, say hello to anyone else that caught your eye tonight. And
before we finish, I've got to give the leader a round of applause. See, look, 8:30, start on time, finish on time. Yeah, all right.